Welcome to I Heart Geek.
And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, everyone looks all weirded out because we've all been invaded by aliens, I think.
Yes,
Yeah. This is the alien invasion episode, and let's do this quickly. I'm Dub, and I'm your producer, and we have Miss Geeky Paige. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's the alien conspiracy.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
I'm terrible at that.
I know. It's aliens. That's all you got to say.
You know, I'm actually, it's written on this page. I never see it. And in the below me screen, we have Miss Satomi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Sometimes I feel like an alien. Sometimes I feel like no.
That doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't work.
No, that makes the blooper reel awesome. And then in the other corner we have Mr. PB&Jason. How are you doing today, sir?
Yes, I'm great. We did Alien Invasion not too long ago. This is Alien Conspiracy. So this is exciting.
Okay.
Doing great.
Yeah. It's one of those mornings everyone's like, energy, let's get up. Yeah.
I love that it's morning for you guys.
I had a big old coffee here, man. I'm good. I'm ready.
I have a rock star. I'm cheating on Red Bull since they're not paying us with wings and stuff.
They were supposed to give us wings.
And credit where credit is due. Today's show was written by Mr. PB himself. Just thought I'd let y'all know. Okay. So our tagline today was "Probe the Possibilities." That was actually
That was also written by me.
That was good. Yeah.
It was also written by me. I'm very proud of that one. Thank you.
Before we get started, why is that always the alien thing, the probing thing? Always.
I think,
why would that be the first
honestly,
thing people watch?
It started with, and I'm blanking on their names, the couple that was abducted or claimed to be abducted, and that was one of the things that they said happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody got probed.
Well, people.
And why would it be there and not your mouth? Because that's actually the more transparent.
Who says
spot.
It isn't your mouth as
because
also.
they're pretty blatant when they say those comments that it's not your mouth.
Well, here I have a theory.
Okay,
So,
I'd like to hear it.
When I was in grade school, I went to a party, and they had not a hamster, it's a gerbil, which was just fur. And for about 15 minutes, one of the party goers tried to feed it from the wrong end. So do you think it's possible that maybe the aliens didn't know which end was which?
Don't know which end is which.
Okay, I'm gonna theorize because I've actually had a gerbil as a pet that you had a guinea pig.
Okay, it wasn't mine.
Okay,
but sure.
Right, because those
guinea
are like
pig. Yes, that's what I said. I thought you were going to say something else about gerbils.
I thought something.
We're going to leave that alone.
No, because this is a family-friendly show.
Yes, it is. I was about to be like,
I could think all these things that I want to think, but I can't say them.
No, we don't. Because gerbils and guinea pigs make lovely pets, children. And moving on.
Take care of them. If you don't get your kids that is a starter pet, please make sure they're taking care of those. This is my public service message. I hate it when people do that. They get their kid a pet and then, well, if it dies, it's your fault. Don't do that. Something's suffering.
They run up the little tube and into the thing and run down the tube. They're awesome.
But if you don't feed it, they run out of energy. It's like gas.
Yes, this is true.
Okay, we are way off topic.
We got really modeling fast.
So let me ask this question. And this is the first thing is the Pentagon's been kind of open with the very, very real possibility of alien existence. Now, this was national news. Why did nobody hear about it, first off?
Because of all the other...
absolutely upsets me.
Yes.
This is what we should be talking about.
This should be absolute top of any news cycle, but it's not.
That and the multiverse probably exists. They're closest they've ever come, and we ignore it. I'd say we don't do politics on the show, but this actually upsets me. That means
when I read that, I read that they were going to be transparent on their information, and that they had no one's doing anything. Credible information, and that they had metal fragments that they classified as not of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Did they really? I didn't hear that part.
That's what we're saying. And I'm on top of this stuff. That's the only reason I know about it. It's why is the RNC and DNC, that's not the first question. Where there are aliens, what are we going to do about it? Why is that not the first question asked? I'm sorry.
It's going to be all about the credibility of the pilots.
Yeah.
And all those videos of the pilots who have had encounters with, and probably at NASA astronauts as well, who have had the encounters with the objects that flew with obvious purpose and intelligence. And yeah, they're basically saying, yep, they're out there. So we don't know what they are.
And I don't think it's 100. It's not 100% on everything, but I think we're at 99%. And I think it's enough that this should be the national discussion. Yeah.
Well, we don't have to go into it right now, but I actually do have a couple stories.
You know what? Let's start kick off something with that. That's probably more interesting.
All right.
Than what we're talking
I'll
about.
give you one of the shorter stories. This actually did happen in Las Vegas. There was the testing that was coming out of Nellis one day, and we had an explosion, and it split into two, and everybody was like, aliens, and I was like, no, military. Yeah. So there was this one day, was driving down Lake Mead with my boyfriend at the time, and everybody started pulling over to the side of the road. It was about 4 p.m. And we thought maybe there was an accident or something. Looked up, swear to you, there was a glowing green, like globular light hanging in the sky. No Superman to be found. I'm so sorry, Deb. Hanging in the sky, just sort of sitting there. And then suddenly it just started slowly moving like northward, just really, really slowly. And we're all sitting there watching. I'm talking like there's probably 100 people on the side of the road staring up at this thing. And then suddenly it did a complete 180 and went and shot off, leaving just a light trail in the other direction and disappeared.
Did you get a sense of like how high up it was or big it was?
I am not good at guesstimating how large something is, but I will say that it felt it felt higher than an airplane.
And when there was no sound?
Not much. There was zero
noise?
sound. No noise.
Wow.
None.
Huh.
None. And this, what I found really interesting is, after the explosion that we had in the sky in Vegas, and they were like, oh, Nellis. Nothing. There was nothing in the media. There was nothing reported. It was complete silence, like it had never happened. And yet you had a full road full of traffic that had pulled over to watch this thing.
Wow.
And today I have not heard an explanation. So that's my first story. We can talk about the other.
We're going to have a few of these today, I have a feeling.
See, I get to hear stories because unfortunately, just like with ghosts, which I consider myself like an optimistic skeptic when it comes to ghosts. I'm similar when it comes to, not unidentified phenomenon, but like intelligently operated, unidentified flying craft or whatever. I've never seen one, and almost everybody I know has, including this great story you just told. I mean, almost everybody has seen one, and I know that everyone's telling the truth. But it stuns me that, like, again, like with ghosts and alien, I've never seen either yet. There are people that swear by them and have seen them, and I know they're telling the truth. So it's crazy.
Truth doesn't always mean the truth. Just because you think you saw something doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth either. And this, I'm kind of going to take the other side. I want to see photographic evidence on stuff. I think if 100 people saw something, everyone in the world has a camera phone. Why aren't we seeing pictures? And I'm not saying that it was made up. We
didn't back then, I should say.
But 100 people, someone should, well, it might not happen. That's a little bit more reasonable, but it's really hard for me I want to see the photographic proof, because even with a big group, people will oftentimes, and it's not a lie, but they'll see what they want to see. It can't happen.
You calling me a liar?
Oh, God, stop. I hope that everyone saw the sarcasm there. So now with that's kind of my feeling on it. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I want to see more evidence before I buy into this is the real deal. So with the Pentagon actually kind of opening it up a little bit more and all that, does that change your opinions on anything? Let's start with Courtney. You've been kind of quiet. Where do you sit on all this?
Do I think aliens or life on other planets exist? Yes. I think it would be incredibly naive and incredibly egotistical to believe that we are the only life in the entire universe. Do I believe in UFOs? Jury's still out on that. Because it comes down to, do I think they have the technology to come here? And why would they want to?
Well, here is my issue with aliens coming here. And I can do it in 2 quotes. Bill Watterson's from Calvin Hobbes once said, "The only sure sign that there's intelligent life in the universe is that none of it has tried to contact us yet." There's some truth to that. But no, my fear with aliens coming is, we've had this discussion before, and last time we did this episode.
Yeah.
But I feel with any life, if a society of any type wants to go to another planet, it's to take over, to use natural resources, to get what they can get out of it, to be Vikings, to conquer. And that's my biggest fear about aliens is, if it does exist, that's probably who's going to show up. It's not going to be people that are, "Hey, we're coming to give you our technology for
nothing." Not going to be the Vulcans in First Contact?
Probably not. But that's, I may be jaded, but any life, I mean, you look at predators in the wild, they don't leave their area unless they want to go take more area. And that's not humans, that's any life. So, yeah. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's, I mean, everyone's pretty all over the board really on where we're at as far as aliens goes. I think we all think that it exists, but as far as the visiting us is.
Yeah, I was similar to that. When we took this on before, when we were talking about the alien invasions, Blythe and also had said that no doubt that the conditions for life, obviously have to be out there in the universe. If it happened here, it would have happened in trillions and gazillions of other places. But the two things of, who even knows we're here, our little blip of existence in the whole cosmic scheme of existence is on whose radar? And
nobody helped out Mars. I'm just saying.
And so I was always under the impression that if there were something that would resemble like life that we understand, like humanoid or predator or something like that could fly ships around the galaxy or between galaxies or all that, why would they know about us? And so I was very much like, yeah, we're just a blip in the universe that you look too quickly by and you miss it. But the Pentagon thing changes that for me just a little bit, because it's like, what are you seeing? What is this metal? What are these things that you don't understand? Is it a nation on Earth that has been super secret with their technology and thus has invented something that we missed?
Yeah.
Could it be that?
I say it could be a million different things that we're looking at. Let's say it's just kind of the question of, are we more open to believe it now or not? And that's kind of, and we're going to move on to the fun stuff of this with the entertainment side of it in just a minute. But
the Pentagon thing definitely shifts me a little bit on that. It really does, for sure.
Are you more shifted, Satomi, or are you kind of in the same spot because you saw the green rock floating? And I'm not making fun. Don't make it. I hope that doesn't sound like making fun.
I mean, what I was going to say is the fact is, overarching thing for me is that I don't know. I don't know. But I am open to it. I'm agnostic on it, but I'm extremely open to it because we don't know. And it goes beyond, I think that we make the mistake as a species to think that life from another planet will behave in any way like us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's possible that they do, absolutely. But I also think it's extremely possible that they are existing in a way that's beyond our imagining.
Beyond our comprehension.
You know, beyond our, and it just doesn't even, it's kind of like how Native Americans didn't recognize ships coming from Europe at first because they had never experienced it before, so they didn't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't have a word for it. Same thing as the color blue. We can go into that, how there wasn't a word for blue just didn't exist. It was the wine dark sea, and I digress. So I think part of what we're dealing with is, with the Pentagon releasing this information, it's sort of putting a little crack in what opening up the possibilities that are in the human mind of what could exist elsewhere. So still, I'm agnostic, but
really good point that you made, Satomi, just now is the whole, so many people think of aliens as Star Trek, everything sort of in a, like I said, in a humanoidish or at least animalish kind of understanding. But we're talking about, microbes, fourth dimension type things. We're talking about things that can observe us and we don't even know we're being observed. We're in an ant farm and we don't even know it. I mean, I understand that thought too. And I've always thought, I guess that's probably, if someone's seen us at all, that's how it is. But this Pentagon thing, in
terms of the Pentagon thing, I'm going to be the devil's advocate, and I'm going to be the other side, the Katarian on the side of this. Mm-hmm. Not of this Earth literally does mean not of Earth. It could be an alloy from Jupiter we don't know about.
Mm-hmm. True.
It could be an alloy from Venus. So simply by saying it's not of this Earth, that doesn't convince me aliens in and of itself. It just means we have something. The Pentagon has something that cannot be identified on this planet.
Earth. Right.
Yeah.
But on the other thing is we have not explored everything on this Earth.
No, we have not.
True.
We can't get to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. We can't get to the bottom of volcanoes. We've never been to the center of the Earth. Who knows? Maybe this not of the Earth is not of the known Earth. And I'm not downplaying anybody's belief that it might be extraterrestrial. I mean, if it is, by definition, it's extraterrestrial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not downplaying anybody's Earth. I'm just kind of devil's advocate on it.
No, it's fair.
We just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff on this Earth that we don't know, but there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know. We've only ever gotten as far as Mars with a Mars rover.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's a whole lot more out there.
Yeah, everything you said is very observant, very smart, except for the center of the Earth thing, because I was there last week, and there are dinosaurs there. That's
giant insects.
Just wanted to share that. Giant insects.
Yeah. So
things with tentacles.
Octopi.
I mean,
wanted to share that.
That's not. Those comments are not to dissuade anybody from it, because I personally think there has to be intelligent life somewhere other than us.
Yeah.
Or just somewhere.
Just somewhere, because I think
it's not here.
Because it's not here.
Well, it's incredibly egotistical not to believe that, to believe that we are alone in this vast, gigantic universe.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. No, and actually, I sit a lot closer to where Courtney's coming from on that. I think, yes, I do think there's aliens out there. There's nothing we can do about it. So enjoy your life, live life, and don't blame everything on the alien boogeyman that's watching us. So I enjoy these conversations because they're fun for me. I don't enjoy them because I'm looking for a reason or reality. I like the fun of it, and that's just kind of how I look at it. Because there's nothing we can do about it either way. Because until we are too far away as a species to be able to reach out to them. They're going to have to reach out to us if they exist, and if they have the technology, if it's there.
And it's human nature to be curious.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Jason
but I have fun with it.
Jason mentioned ghosts earlier. I love the possibility of ghosts, whether they're really there or not. I can't really say it. I enjoy the possibility of it. I enjoy the possibility of of EVPs, of sightings, of any of that stuff.
I love the possibility, but I don't like the people that take it so far that it does ruin their life. And we do see that.
There's a thing. I would describe it as almost like a suggestive sympathy. That's kind of how I always thought of it in my mind. That if they are not true, if ghosts or aliens are not true, then those that claim to have had contact with both, again, I don't think they're lying. It's kind of what Dub said.
No, I think they believe it.
You see what you see. But there's a suggestive sympathy. Like EVPs is a good example. I don't want to go too off on ghosts, but EVPs is a good example. When you watch those ghost shows and they do the EVP voices, you see in print, in the captions, what the EVP says. Yeah. Cover that up, it sounds like it sounds like nothing.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, it's
backwards masking, all that's the same thing.
It's a lot of what Satomi mentioned with like Native Americans and ships. One thing that reminded me is when Captain Cook landed in Hawaii, the native Hawaiians believed he was the god Lono, because their story said that Lono left and Lono would come back. And for Hawaiians, the native gods look like Hawaiians. So it's not, they don't, they're not like Zeus, so they change into things. Sometimes the Hawaiian gods can shape shift, but mainly they just look like them. So when the big tall ship, when his ship came up over the horizon in Kealakekua Bay, they said that's the god Lono. But then when everything that Lono was supposed to bring with him and do when he came back didn't happen, they went, wait a minute.
This sucks.
Well, and it was because he looked different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. It's like the people who've seen it, maybe they're seeing something that they're just not familiar with, and to them it's a ghost. To them it's an alien.
Sure.
Maybe they're alien.
Although I mean, it's so going back to my story.
Yeah.
I am 100% open to a human explanation for it.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't found one. I never said it was an alien.
Yeah.
It was an unidentified flying object. Exactly. That's all I can say.
Fair enough. Okay, since we have a metric poop ton of it, because that is an actual, we have a lot of listener feedback today.
An MPT?
No,
it's an MPT.
Oh, we don't. Okay, well, we have a small amount of a metric poop kilogram of listener feedback. So, we'll be right back with that in 1 second.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, so for our listener feedback today, we asked, what did we ask? We asked, what is the most believable alien conspiracy that entertainment has offered? We had a couple of interesting ones on here. So go ahead, Courtney, because I don't read these.
I do. Okay, so we had a bunch of you guys say the same one. So I'm going to lump you all into one big pile for the They Live. So TC, the
voice of the show.
He likes to do that.
I almost missed that.
Yeah, you did. Tyler Romaine and Sean Washington all chose They Live. A lot of it because of Roddy Piper.
Bubblegum.
That's the way to choose it, I guess. And the longest fist fight in movie history. Not sure that's true.
I think it is.
But it might be. I don't know. That's because some of the stuff that they like, and Sean Washington specified They Live because it takes conspiracy level thinking to another level, and I really kind of think how he wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
TC also, Tyler Romaine also mentioned The Day the Earth Stood Still, specifically the Keanu Reeves version as opposed to the original version, and I tend to agree with him on that, but I like it both.
I never saw it.
You guys see that?
What is that about?
I didn't see that one.
Me?
Yes.
The interesting thing about The Day the Earth Stood Still, the Keanu Reeves, and it's in my top 5, so I go into big detail on it. But what Tyler mentions is maybe they've been monitoring us and they're tired of seeing us destroy the planet. Because, spoilers, in the Keanu Reeves version, Gort and Klaatu are here not to save humanity. They are here to save the Earth. So they take samples from all over the earth, and then they're going to destroy the human race because of what we've done.
The poison ivy
planet.
of the
Yep.
Of
it's
the
what
alien
we did to
scene.
the planet, so they're going to punish us. Kind of similar to Star Trek 4 with the killer with the humpback whales. Yep. Yes.
And you know what they called that thing that came to Earth looking for the humpback whales? A probe.
So it started in Australia? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Australia. Actually, I don't think we have any Australian listeners, so I can say that. Okay, cool.
If you do, we're sorry.
Awesome.
Send all hate mail to Dub. Yes.
Dino Gangle from the
podcast
says Mars attacks because I just really wanted to do the Martian noise.
I love that movie.
Sorry, guys.
That's
so much.
That's the creepiest
it's not
alien
my favorite movie, but
creepiest
Misty
alien
Kyle
movie
is
I've ever
genius.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he also says MIB, especially with Tommy Lee Jones. And then Daniel Houston, finally. We have gonna go with X-Files. There's some weird crap that goes on every day, and I think it's plausible that certain sections of the government would exploit it. Let me try that without stuttering. Would exploit it and do everything they could to cover it up. I really like that X-Files choice for that reason too.
I agree.
If there is all sorts of stuff like this going on, the government has some sort of special underground department that
whether it exists or not, I think they have to.
Yeah, my whole thing on that, the whole government contact with the government, covered by the government. How could they really do it? If something really wanted to be seen, why would they allow themselves to be covered up by the government?
Well, it's also possible that they're making like little inroads because they've done it before on another planet, and then there was panic and chaos, and cats and dogs were
mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
The rain was Kool-Aid. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Tommy Lee Jones did say that famous line in Men in Black that a person is smart, but people are not panicky,
stupid.
reactionary, and yes.
There's a lot of truth to that.
There is.
So, okay, thank you everybody for your listener feedbacks. They mean a lot to us, and they help the show be so much better. And we hope you like your name said on air or something. It's the next best thing to being
especially
on.
when I say it correctly.
Yeah, that I think we messed a couple up, but I'm not saying no names. But I guarantee you do a better job than I ever did. So again, thank you for taking that over. Because woo. So let me ask you guys this question with the alien conspiracy. Why are we drawn to that in entertainment? I mean, do you like a more comical side of it? Do you like the fear side of it? What is it that draws you personally to these? Let's start with Satomi on this one. What draws you to that?
Wow, that's a really big question, Deb.
Huge.
You can do it.
You can do it all night long.
Okay, Rob.
You come on. You're an improv. You can do this. Improv.
That's it. Well, I as an actor. I think as an actor. You see, it's very important when you're discussing things of this nature. We as humans are drawn to things that bring wonder. I mean, when you just think about what we love in entertainment in general, we love all of it. The fantasy, the aliens, the superheroes, the mysteries. I was just watching a National Geographic on lost Mayan treasures.
Cool.
There's something about just that wonder of something that is beyond our scope, that is beyond our experience. And it just speaks to that. Even if we're somebody who's really happy to be with our lives, we're really happy where we are, it still speaks to that little bit of the explorer that's left in us, that was, the monkey that was reaching for the next branch that they weren't sure was there. So it's a way to just kind of do it, and maybe do it safely because you're watching or listening or reading.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Courtney?
Along the same lines as Satomi, it's the unknown. It's especially with movies and TV shows that deal with the topic of aliens and whatnot. It's the unknown because we don't know what any of that looks like. So we get to use our imagination to make it be anything we want it to be. So, yeah, it's that wonder and sense of unknown. It's that
open-ended feeling that this could be true, it could not be true, but maybe my imagination has it right.
Maybe the aliens look like E.T. Maybe they don't. Maybe they look like Tommy Lee Jones. You never know.
Maybe they all look like Chris Helmsworth, and then all the males on this planet are. I
need a moment.
Need a cigarette after that one? Yeah, there you go.
Wait, no, I need one more. Hang on. And you can keep going now.
Now I'm uncomfortable. Jason, what about you, bud?
I think it's two things. One I'm kind of on board with, and one I personally am not. Similar with horror movies, which I'm not a huge fan of overall. There's something, that desire to be scared, for the catharsis that comes along with that. Some people are really do get something out of that. Not so much me, but then again, I have that in other things, laxatives as an example. But the other one that I kind of am on board with is the reality versus the escapism, because the reality is, the Pentagon, maybe something's going to come of that. But before that, the reality is we just know about what's here. We know that we love elves and dwarves and stuff, but they aren't here. We love aliens and Star Wars, but that's not here. So the escapism side of the whole, like Star Trek is the best example of that. Like, what could be? What could we become? What could we escape into someday, to escape from the things about this maybe that we don't necessarily like?
To go where no man has gone before.
To go where no person
depending on which
donut
version,
iteration.
Right. So I think it's just another branch of escapism from the known, I guess.
Fair enough.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now.
It's 2020, man.
Yeah. We're in it.
Yeah. Something I like, what would draw me to this is what we've all been talking about is the fact that it is possible, if not plausible. And it's funner to, for instance, it's fun to play the lottery, and you sit and you watch, you look at the numbers, you're not going to win, but you have that minute of, hey, I could win this. It's kind of the same thing with the movies. If you're invested, I'm in, you know what I mean? You have that couple of minutes that you're just in, and you are completely and totally taken away from all reality, whether or not you really buy into it. But because there is a low plausibility that it could happen, it could happen. And that's part of what makes these conspiracies fun. Okay, now before we go into the blah 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 blah, the main event, I want to hear one more of your stories, Satomi. You said you have a couple of stories. Let me hear one more of your stories on what happened.
Okay.
Let me get in my comfortable position.
Hold on, there we go. Let's all drink.
Let me get my book. Welcome to Alien Conspiracy Theater.
I'm
in. Let's hear it. Yeah.
I will preface this by saying it absolutely could be man-made, but again,
no, Dub got you thinking you got to do that. You don't got to do that.
Listen, we took pictures that didn't come back. Let's put it that way. We took pictures that when we got the roll of film back, those pictures were not included.
And that conceivably could answer your question, Dub, as to why there are no pictures, because prior to cell phones, because you sometimes don't get all the pictures back on your roll when you take them.
Photomats are run by minimum wage workers, or were run by, at the time, like $2.75 an hour. I don't think that they're part of the conspiracy.
But what if they're being tailed?
Okay.
Yes, but the other thing is on that, yes, they're minimum wage workers. No, they're actually, those minimum wage workers had rules they had to follow. If there was anything disturbing in those pictures, or they thought was disturbing, they actually had to report it to the police. So, like, I got in trouble one time because I made a severed head for my front yard for Halloween. And I took, because I do special effects every now and then. And I taken pictures of it because it was so cool. And the police ended up on my front door because it was too realistic. And they wanted to make sure that I hadn't, severed somebody.
Right.
But they were, the Rite Aid that I took it to was required by law to contact the police department going, we have disturbing photos here, which is good because if I really did have a severed head, I would have been a psychopath and then the police would have been able to catch me. So
right. So even though these photos ended up at the Pentagon that you're going to talk about, let Satomi continue her story.
I will do my best to do it as quickly as possible, which is not that easy. A friend of mine who is from the Las Vegas area and will remain unnamed because I haven't asked her permission to tell. We're driving up to what's the big mountain in the Ely area? We were heading for the Lehman Caves is where we wanted to go, and we were going to go camping nearby. And we were heading up the mountain, and we came up to a valley. We had a big a lesser mountain on the right and a big valley to the left. This was a clear moonlit night, absolutely beautiful. And while we're driving, this absolutely clear valley is suddenly filled with fog. So filled we could not see any of the ground.
Like and suddenly, then, like you drove right into it?
Well, no. We were above it.
Above it, okay.
So the valley was to our left.
Okay.
And we didn't see it come in because we were chatting and just, noticing. And I saw a flash out of the corner of my eye, and both of us essentially were about to go, hey, I should say 3 flashes, not the flash.
Impulse.
And nobody flashed.
Barry Allen. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I was about to say, you saw Barry Allen?
Sorry to disappoint.
I'm so excited for a minute. Sorry. Go ahead.
So we turned to each other because we're about to say, hey, did you see lightning? And we both stopped because what we saw. Now I know I said I'm really bad at gauging distance, so I can't tell you exactly how large this was, but I'm looking at a valley, and at the farthest end and way up in the sky, probably the bottom was probably airplane level, and then it was almost as high as you can see, was a perfect circle of light that was empty in the middle, kind of like, those Frisbees that have the empty middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like almost as if it were a cutout of it had to have been miles across, and it went flash, flash, flash. And then the clouds below in the valley went flash, flash, flash. And then it would go, the circle would go flash, flash, flash. And then the valley would go flash, flash, flash. And I actually pulled over because neither one of us, and P.S., both of us were stone cold sober, just for the record.
You notice you said that on this one, but not the last one. Just wanted to point that out.
The last one was at 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm sorry.
Of course you were drinking.
It's Vegas.
But we pulled over, and because we couldn't believe what we were seeing, got out of the car, stood there and watched it, took some pictures. And then as a joke, I reached for her and grabbed her. And I said, if we're getting abducted, then we're going together. And we the minute I said that, about 30 seconds later, both of us were like, and we're out. I think we need to leave right now. And we got back in the car.
Oh.
And we continued to drive. Valley is still to the left, mountains to the right. And then there was a little split in some smaller hills to take us up the main road, up and over the mountain. As we're approaching this split, up above, directly in front of us, but up above the eye line of the mountain,
mm-hmm.
you remember those crystals that people will
little amethysts,
but that people will hang in the window, so when it catches the light, it throws little diamonds of color. Yeah. So it was a spray of that Prisms. Kind of like that prism light. It started as a cluster and then spread of like 5 of them, and it went across the sky in front of us. And then we're like, I'm out. We're going, we're leaving.
You made it longer than I would have.
As we left, because curiosity, dude, it's the wonder.
Now, see, I never would have left. I would have stood for that. I had been through that whole thing.
I wish
all the way to the abduction and after. I would have done it.
I wish you had, because then you could have told us what the heck that was. Because and that flashing did not stop even as
you're watching Close Encounters happen.
I know.
In real time. Except three notes, just the first three notes. Do do do.
and then missed it. Duh, duh. That, Jason, you would have gotten the buh, buh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I would have got so I'm gone.
I know, I get it. I understand.
We did follow up on that.
Yeah, okay.
We did follow up on that. We called I can't remember if it was like, because you can reach out and say, hey, were there tests or something going on?
Maneuvers or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And they said no. So to this day, neither one of us knows what that is. And thus ends the story. Now you can comment as much as you want.
But you
already did all our comments.
Wait. So the pictures you took didn't come back. That's what you said at the beginning?
So we took pictures, and we had the roll with pictures of camping, pictures of, blah-de-blah everywhere we went.
What is blah?
Got them developed. Blah-de-blah. That's a technical term.
Okay.
You can look it up in Oxford Dictionary.
That's a technical term for camping at Lehman Caves.
And drinking too much. Gotcha. Okay.
At Big Ely Mountain.
No, not at that point. But yeah, we brought the film to be developed, got it back, and every single shot that was from that experience. All the other pictures came back, but all of those were gone. Now it could have been they thought something, that the film got overexposed. There could be very
pictures
logical.
Do get lost constantly. No, even if there's nothing.
Yes, but like a chunk. I mean, because it was one of those machines that just goes through the roll. You can see it there, and it's just going. Thunk, thunk, thunk.
Went to the Pentagon. I'm
telling you, dude.
Now, all you kids out there listening to this, back when the dinosaurs ruled the earth, before there were cell phone cameras,
before they went to the center,
we had to take pictures on this thing called a camera, and then take the film, which was in the camera, to get developed. So now you understand.
Before you were done with the roll, you could ruin the whole
roll.
And that's how stoners had jobs in the 80s and 90s.
I can tell you guys this is one thing I know, and I know it's secondhand, but I have an acquaintance that does actually work at the Pentagon. And has some knowledge of true, genuine, top secret stuff that he cannot tell anybody about. But he's told you. No, he has not told me. But one thing that he has told me is there are genuine men in black. Okay, not so much exactly like they are an alien thing, but there are government men in black that do absolute.
So you just poo-pooed me when I said that there probably was a division like the X-Files in the government.
I didn't poo-poo you.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Well, we can all go back and listen, and we will.
Maybe I misheard it, but I swear you were like, no.
No, I didn't poo-poo that. I poo-pooed the idea of aliens interacting with the government and not people.
I'm just enjoying watching Jason say poo-poo over and over again.
Poo-poo.
Yes, you have a really wonderful plosive.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been told that before. Thank you. No, no, but there are clandestine government entities that would resemble in our perceptions the Men in Black.
I believe it 100%. Well, because we know that Spy Network is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is why the Martian Manhunter existed as a comic book. He was not fictional. And let's move on to the main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
And now it's time for our main event. If you guys, if I accidentally left that in, we're in so much trouble.
We're sorry,
my gosh,
you're in so much trouble.
I'm not leaving that in. Dub, if you didn't cut something out like 2 seconds ago, Go back right now. Edit it. Editing. Okay, so we did a top 3 today, and that is our top 3 favorite alien conspiracy offerings in entertainment. Yeah, so we're kind of went all over the board on this, which is I'm very happy about. And I'm going to start mine with the TV show from the 80s, Alf. Conspiracy. It was an alien living with a family. You saw the government was always trying to spy. You had it started with the nosy neighbor, which is how it would start. And it's just an alien trying to get home and a family that would protect that alien. And is that too far off to see? He's a cute alien. He's furry. He eats cats. I mean, life is good.
That's what it was. I was like, didn't he eat something?
Yes, Gordon
was supposed
ate
to?
Cats.
That's right. Gordon Shumway.
I knew his name. But and then and it spawned a cartoon and all sorts of stuff, and was he hosted the Tonight Show. That's how big that stupid show.
My brother had a stuffed Alf doll.
I'm so old.
We were kids.
In the newspaper, they had a record that was a piece of vinyl, and you could play it on your record player. That's vinyl, guys. And it had like 3 different songs you could have gotten.
It was floppy,
huge.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, floppy.
Okay.
It was like a piece of paper, but it had the circle grooves. I know I've lost half our audience right now.
Yeah,
but,
sorry, kids.
But to me, the brilliance of that was how real that alien. I think if we're going to see an alien and it's not going to be something that's trying to take over the earth, that's what we're going to see.
Or E.T.
Or E.T. Well, E.T. kind of the same story. It's E.T. is Alf with hair, without hair,
and
no
without
cats.
the attitude.
Yeah, the fun-loving attitude. I can't even do it.
And he ate M&Ms.
Hey, Willie!
Lines.
Reese's Pieces.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Reese's
M&M's.
Oh,
M&M's.
Yes.
Movie
I
was
read the
gonna
book.
flop.
I know. Yes, I know.
Okay.
Woo! Okay, let's go on.
Moving on.
Let's do Courtney. What is your number 3?
Day the Earth Stood Still. We already talked about it.
But you can talk more if you like.
The original, right?
Both. I actually enjoy both of them. One, because I have a massive crush on Keanu Reeves, and he kind of works as a wooden robot. But I also, Gort is just cool.
What's a
any
Gort?
form. That's the robot that comes with him.
I haven't seen it, so yeah.
Tell
me, why do I want to watch this movie?
Well, the original's a nice B movie.
Hey, that comes up tomorrow. Next week. That's what's called.
But Gort, the original Gort is probably, I would say, one of the top tier B movie creation monsters out there.
Sure, for the time, great.
So
big, huge, scary. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the new one with Keanu Reeves it's got a great cast. It's not like the greatest movie in the entire world, but it's very good. And we talked a little bit about it earlier when we were doing listener feedback. The themes and the plot are interesting because it's one of those rare movies where human race is the bad guys, and so we have to pay for what we've done to our own planet. And maybe we live, maybe we don't. I'm not going to spoil it for you, though.
You know what that kind of reminds me of, and nobody has it, is the Simon Pegg movie. What was that? Everything Bad or something like that, where the aliens come and prove to us that you're a worthy planet, and he does all these great things like, well, you've just proved you're not a worthy planet because they wanted evil.
That's a Twilight Zone episode. That's a Twilight Zone episode where the aliens come down and said we're going to destroy humans unless they could prove themselves what we made you, and unless you could prove yourself what you're supposed to be. I did not know
that was made off a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, that is a Twilight Zone episode.
I don't remember.
And then the humans crafted world peace, and they present the document, and the aliens were like, "We built you for war."
Yeah,
and
that's exactly like the Simon Pegg, only was a comedy. So tell me, what is your number 3?
Here comes the man in black.
Which one?
I'm rather fond of the original. I actually do enjoy. I have enjoyed. I haven't seen the most recent one, but I have enjoyed all 1 and 2. And it's more about the concept that we do have a group of people who do know for a fact that aliens are here. They are, they're just like us. They're living among us and, dealing with the same stuff that we do. And then there's this agency that just kind of takes care of it, make sure that they behave.
Nice.
It actually ends up sounding awful in a way.
Well, wait till we talk about my next one. You'll know what I'm talking about.
The first. Okay. I haven't really been a big fan of the other one, but that first Men in Black, awesome movie. I mean, I get quotable things and just Tommy Lee. I mean, the chemistry between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith is just awesome.
They're so fantastic together.
It made Tommy Lee actually likable, and that's its own challenge.
Yeah.
Jason,
his character was wonderful. Go ahead.
I changed my list up based on the listener feedback, but so I moved a couple things around. My number 3 is The Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes,
good one.
Which both the original and the one with Donald Sutherland, which is the one that left that horribly scary impression on me at the very end of that movie.
Me too.
But that concept of, again, something not human, something very clandestine, something subtly coming in and slowly harvesting the resources, which is basically us in that case, to create doppelgangers and populate, and very scary concept. Again, if a horror movie has a great story attached to it, then I dig it, and that's Body Snatchers.
Gotcha. Okay, so my number 2, we're going to go with a 4 different season show, which came off of Doctor Who, which is Torchwood.
Yes,
love Torchwood.
So good.
Yes.
But going back, like we were talking about with Men in Black, it is that more kind of realistic look of what would happen with these aliens. There's a rift that opened. They're able to get through. How are we going to control it without everyone in the world flipping out constantly and keeping it all a secret? And oh my gosh, it's just so brilliant on every level. It's adult Doctor Who, but it is just,
and it goes to dark places that are my gosh, dark places.
So,
yes,
and the crossovers they did with Doctor Who were wonderful too, like the
there was
Journey's
2,
End.
Yeah,
Journey's End.
Yeah, the
where which was
so good.
It was Tennant's. Yeah, it was Tennant's last hurrah.
Yeah, that was Tennant. Yeah.
The coolest thing about that Torchwood, in my opinion, is they take Captain Jack, who everybody loves,
who's completely unlikable if you put him on paper.
So I was going to say is on Doctor Who.
He really is.
On Doctor Who, everybody loved him. He was actually a very likable character. Take him to Torchwood, and this is not a good guy at all.
He's not a good guy in Doctor Who, though.
No,
but it's
a little different.
They take some of the charm away from him, which makes you forgive him less. And that that was on purpose.
To Barrowman.
Well, especially when you go into the miniseries, the short series that they did of Torchwood afterwards, Children of Earth in particular.
Oh, that was so dark.
Oh,
I was thinking about that the other day too.
Is that the one with the guy who became the Doctor? Peter
Capaldi is in that. Yes,
Capaldi. Yeah,
yes, he kills himself in it.
Choose which. How do you
1% of the children of
1% of the children of Earth?
This was those aliens that were behind the glass that you couldn't really see them. And
who were using the kids like drugs.
Like drugs.
Oh my God, that was so dark.
Oh gosh, that was so good.
That was where I absolutely discovered Peter Capaldi. I'm like, oh my God, is this guy an actor beyond actors?
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
But Torchwood to me is what I was talking about earlier. If aliens are going to come, they're going to be conquerors and invaders. That's pretty much who comes in Torchwood. Yes, there's some good, but it's mostly what I would fear. And I want to believe that in England and in the United States, there's separate little bands that are helping out and making sure this doesn't happen.
We need Torchwood.
We need a Torchwood.
We need Torchwood. We need the Doctor.
And we need the Doctor.
We definitely need a TARDIS. We need Rose. No, we need Donna because Donna's cool. Anyway,
Bill. We need Bill.
Are we going to name them all? We need Craig.
Yes,
we need freaking Craig. Craig's awesome.
Yes. And Stormageddon, Lord of All.
Sarah Jane.
Satomi, what is your number 2?
Well, you know what? Your theming is perfect because I was going to go into Doctor Who.
Outstanding.
And very specifically the episode about the monks, which for those of you who don't know, this is when Bill is his companion, and these aliens who dress as monks but look like corpses.
Oh, yeah.
Manage to essentially manipulate our history into believing that they've always been there to keep us compliant, and to rule us, and to very specifically to love them. And I thought it was a really interesting, it's sort of an interesting take, let's be honest, on being in a narcissist's thrall, where when you are, and I have a story about that, but we can talk about that later. When you are,
we can do Doctor Who all day. Yeah,
I could do Doctor Who all day. Because,
we will. We've talked about doing it a million times.
Oh yeah. So, and Doctor Who has a ton of wonderful alien conspiracy ones, but the monks in particular is what I was thinking about today.
Oh, I want to pile onto that and throw in the silence.
Oh, the silence is brilliant.
Because wouldn't that make sense that we have an alien that's coming, they can take over the world, and no one's going to remember it?
Right. Wow. Because as soon as you don't see them,
they're gone.
Why do I have hash marks on my arm?
And the thing is we all have those moments. What is brilliant about the silence episode,
where was I in here?
We all have those moments where we walk into a room, we don't remember why we walked in there.
Yeah.
Or we catch things out of the corner of their eye. I mean, they took something that people experience collectively, and they turned it into a nightmare.
Yes.
But really. I mean, Doctor Who, this is the definition of conspiracy theory. Why are kids afraid to look for the monster under their bed? Why, everything.
There. Yes.
That is the conspiracy theory. And I didn't really think about it as much until you started talking. Doctor Who is the alien conspiracy theory more than anything else. You know what? I throw away the rest of my list, Doctor Who. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm with you.
Well, we could even throw the Weeping Angels in there.
Oh gosh, of course. And then the Zygons, who
shapeshifters.
All the Weeping Angels. I was terrified of any statue for about a month after I saw that episode.
And then there's the Daleks, and there's the.
I really got annoyed though when they showed the Weeping Angels move, because that ruined everything about their mystery.
But that was kind of the end of the Weeping Angels too. So.
And it was briefly, and they were recovering at that point.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best decision, but it is what it is.
No.
Sometimes you don't have to show the man behind the curtain. You don't have to.
Yeah,
sometimes
but after 50 years of a show, they're gonna end up showing the man behind the curtain like 7 or 8 times. They have to, I guess. Courtney, what is your number 2?
V. Not the newest one that came, the recent, the original 80s V.
The eating of the rats, crawling up.
Yep. Yes, because that's a situation where the visitors come down and they look just like us, only because they're discovered.
And they're making you think you're your friend
Singer,
first.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that Mark Singer? He was
Mark Singer.
He's the Beastmaster.
Yeah, and was one of Robert Englund's very first things.
Yeah, that was before Freddie.
And Michael Ironsides.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people in it. But it was that 80s. There were 2 of them. There was V, and then there's like V the Return, and they were not too far apart. But it's back when they did miniseries, and it was just, I remember watching that as a kid, just being terrified of lizards after that.
I flipped out with watching the rat, and it looked so real when it crawled down the throat.
Diana eating the rat. Yeah.
I was young at that time, and I was like, I couldn't. That image is
I want to say
in my brain.
That was awesome.
I want to say I was like 6 or 7. I wasn't that old, and I was terrified of lizards. Like, when they don't, because spoilers, but you don't know until the one person gets his face torn off,
right?
And he's a lizard underneath. We're like,
for a show that did not run that long. I don't remember how many seasons it had.
It was a miniseries.
Yeah.
And for basically kind of taking almost a generic theme about an alien invasion, that show was so well thought out. Yeah. So well put together.
So good.
Cool. Okay, Jason, what is your number 2, sir?
Okay, so the Ancient Aliens show. is my number 2. It plays on the same suggestive sympathies that ghost type shows do, because you got the guy with the hair with it's like a Nefertiti crown shaped head hair, and they'll show the drawings, and they'll show the sculptures, and they'll take an amulet, and if you turn it sideways it looks like a plane, and then they do the whole thing as, oh, it's a ship, even though it's an amulet obviously. But I love that show because you can kind of look at it and go, yeah, but then there's a couple times on that show where you go, huh, okay. They do kind of hit on something where you're kind of like, well, yeah, that is in that painting and in that drawing and in this place down here in South America, as well as this place on the other side of the world, and they're the same. That's where you go, wow, that's
and there's some support for it. I don't know if you're familiar, and I only found out about this guy recently. Genrikh Mavrikievich Ludwig.
You're making that up.
I am not. You can look it up. Professor Ludwig, who got access. Oh, this actually goes back to the Pentagon stuff. Who got access to the papal archives, where there were papers in there describing alien encounters and describing things like the pyramids, that they would go into in Ancient Aliens as transmitters.
Yeah.
Very Stargate. It's very Stargate,
yeah.
and a lot of inventions being actually brought to us by aliens. So either that, or I just essentially
part of that goes. That goes back to Torchwood and the Rift and all that other stuff. Yeah,
I could listen to you say that guy's name all day, Satomi.
Let me see if I can do this. Genrikh Mavrikievich Ludwig.
Why not? My day is made. I'm gonna have to record that later. The show's fun and relaxing. That's one of the best things about that show.
Nice,
for sure.
Okay, so on to our number ones. I want to do Twilight. There's a Twilight Zone episode, which we've talked about a million times, so this will be quick. But the monsters are due on Maple Street. What is an alien going to do if they want to invade the planet? They're going to come. They're going to turn on the lights, turn off the lights, make everybody think that everyone else is doing it, and watch as everyone kills each other. They don't have to do anything. They
just gaslight everybody into madness.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
We've talked about it a million times, so we don't need to go too much longer. Satomi, what is your number one?
Fire in the Sky.
Scary.
I have never been so terrified for such an extended period of time in a film. So right there, alien abduction, Fire in the Sky. If you haven't seen it, just brace yourself.
Okay.
Scary.
Fair enough.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Courtney?
Stargate.
Nice.
Because I like the idea that aliens may have created our civilization and then took off, and there's a parallel somewhere else. Plus, I was really big into Egyptology when I saw it, and right, and really big into James Spader. So
weren't we all?
Right. We'll talk later.
I can't watch that movie without thinking about the Crying Game for some reason or the other. That one scene. Yeah.
Ra, the sun god Ra.
Yeah.
I just thought it was an interesting take on Egyptian.
It was. I guess I don't know. First time I saw it, I wasn't that impressed with it. Later time, I watched it again and I liked it a lot more. I think it's one of those you kind of have to know what's going on before you watch it. There's some movies that are like that. Doctor Who was very much like that. Until you get it, you don't get it. It's not entertaining until you get it first. But that's just
right.
Jason, what's your number one, sir?
Changed because of 3 people on the listener feedback. Changing it to They Live. I mean, I absolutely didn't realize that movie is so brilliant for being kind of a B movie, but the concept is so brilliant that we are manipulated to be the a-holes and idiots that we are by subliminal messaging that we can't see unless we somehow get a hold of those special glasses that totally reveals the monsters behind the curtain. And the entertainment value of Roddy Piper, of course, but the Carpenter concept, Carpenter is just amazing anyway, but the the concept of that idea, like consume, buy, all that stuff is just, and we do what we're told. We do what we're told.
That fight scene is the one thing that really sticks in my head with that movie. Just that fight scene is just so iconic, and it's been copied by so many people. It's so good. Yeah, so that's a show, guys. The aliens are coming to take me away. Buy that? Okay. So yeah, check out our everything. Especially want to push the Patreon. Come be our Patreon. It's worth it. There's good stuff. This is the future of the show, guys. Get on board with it because we're gonna get you extra stuff going in the future and all that stuff. And Satomi, you want to talk about your charity?
BroadwayHearts.org. We bring music and sing-alongs to children in hospitals and at Ronald McDonald House, and we create content for those kids as well on request. And you can check out our YouTube channel.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
And love y'all. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back with you next week. Until next time, I'm Dub. Somebody want to say it? Courtney?
I'm Miss Geeky Paige.
I'm Satomi.
Before I was probed, I was PB&Jason.
Keep on geeking on, guys. We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.